Have you ever caught your own reflection, and for just a split second, not recognized the person staring back? It's a common, fleeting feeling. A little brain glitch, we tell ourselves. But for me, that glitch has become my reality. It all started subtly. A slight, almost imperceptible delay. I'd turn my head, and my reflection would follow a millisecond later. At first, I dismissed it. Tired eyes, bad lighting, my mind playing tricks on me. It's easy to rationalize the bizarre, isn't it? We crave normalcy. We need the world to make sense. I first noticed it for real in the bathroom mirror. I was brushing my teeth, and as I spat into the sink and looked up, the person in the mirror was still looking down. It was only for a fraction of a second, but it was long enough. The movement didn't sink. My heart hammered against my ribs. I stood there, frozen, staring. I raised my hand slowly. The reflection mirrored me, but the initial motion felt sluggish, like a bad video connection. I told myself I was just tired, stressed from work, seeing things. I went to bed and tried to forget about it, but you can't forget something like that. Not really. The next morning, it was still there. The tiny, infuriating lag. It was in every reflective surface. The bathroom mirror, the darkened screen of my phone, the polished chrome of the coffee maker, my own reflection in the window as I looked out at the city. Every single one was a fraction of a second behind me. It was like I was dragging a ghost of myself around, a ghost that was always just a little bit late to the party. I tried to prove I was crazy. I set up my phone to record myself in front of the mirror. I needed to see it from a neutral perspective, to have a machine tell me everything was fine. I waved my hands, made funny faces, jumped up and down. I felt ridiculous, but I had to know. Then I sat down on the edge of the tub, my hands trembling as I played the video back. And there it was. On the screen, plain as day. The real me, the me in the video, moved. And then, a split second later, the reflection in the mirror behind me followed. It was undeniable. It was real. This broke something inside me. The video was the proof I dreaded. My reflection was out of sync with my reality. The person looking back at me wasn't truly me. It was an echo, an imitation, a delayed broadcast of my own life. A chilling thought began to creep into my mind. Which one of us is the real one? Am I the one living, or am I just the image that the one in the mirror is casting? The feeling of self-alienation started to consume me. It's a strange and terrifying thing to look at your own face and feel like you're looking at a stranger. I'd see my reflection smile, and a moment later, I'd feel the muscles in my own face pull into a grin. The disconnect was maddening. I started to avoid mirrors. I covered the one in the bathroom with a towel. I turned my phone face down on tables. I'd walk past shop windows with my head down, staring at the pavement, trying to avoid catching a glimpse of that lagging imposter. But you can't escape your own reflection forever. It finds you, in a puddle after the rain, in the side mirror of a parked car, in the metallic sheen of an elevator door. Each time, the delay was there, a constant reminder that something was fundamentally wrong with my connection to the world, to myself. I felt like I was splitting in two. There was the me who was living, breathing, and experiencing the world in real time. And then there was the other me, the one trapped behind the glass, perpetually a moment behind. The fear shifted from simple confusion to a deep existential dread. I started questioning my own actions. Was I the one who decided to pick up this cup of coffee? Or was I just following the script that the real me, the one in the mirror, had already acted out? This sense of not being in control of my own body was the most terrifying part. I felt like a puppet, and the puppet master was a slightly slower version of myself. I became obsessed. I spent hours standing in front of the one mirror I hadn't covered, the large one in my bedroom. I would just stand there, making tiny movements, trying to catch it, trying to understand. I'd flick my finger and watch the reflection do the same an instant later. Who was that person? It had my memories, my face, my scars, but its timing was off. It was a faulty copy. Or was I the faulty copy? The thought was a cold spike of ice in my gut. What if I was the reflection? What if my entire existence was just a delayed image of a life happening somewhere else? This thought loop was driving me insane. I stopped talking to friends. How could I explain this? They'd think I was losing my mind. And maybe I was. Maybe this was all some elaborate, stress-induced hallucination. But the video on my phone was always there to remind me it was real. I watched it over and over, zooming in, analyzing the frames. The delay was consistent. A constant, measurable gap between me and my other self. One evening, I was staring into the mirror, my face just inches from the glass. The air was still. I didn't move. I just watched the eyes of my reflection. They were my eyes, but they felt foreign, unknowable. Then I had an idea, a desperate, crazy idea. What if I could sync us back up? What if I could close the gap? I decided to try something. I would perform an action so sudden, so unpredictable, that maybe, just maybe, my reflection wouldn't have time to lag. It would have to react instantly. I stood back from the mirror, took a deep breath, and then lunged forward, my hand outstretched, aiming to touch my reflection's hand. For a breathtaking, heart-stopping moment, it worked. As my fingertips touched the cold surface of the glass, my reflection's fingertips met them at the exact same time. There was no delay. We were one. A wave of relief so powerful, it made me dizzy washed over me. It was over. I was fixed. I was whole again. I smiled, a genuine, happy smile. And my reflection smiled back, perfectly in sync. I started to pull my hand away, but it stayed. My reflection's hand remained pressed against the glass. My smile faltered. I looked down. My real hand was now halfway to my side, but the hand in the mirror was still there, flat against the glass. Then the reflection's smile widened. It was my face, but the expression was wrong. It was triumphant, malevolent. It slowly, deliberately, pulled its hand away from the glass, not mirroring me, but moving on its own. It raised its hand and gave a little wave. My own hand was frozen at my side. I wasn't moving, but it was. The delay was gone, but not in the way I'd hoped. We hadn't synced up. We had swapped. I stared in horror at the figure in the mirror, which was now moving freely, laughing silently, its eyes full of a terrifying, newfound freedom. It tapped on the glass from its side, the sound sharp and clear in my silent world. And me? I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I tried to run, but my feet were leaden. I raised my hand, and a fraction of a second later, my body followed the command. I was the one in the mirror now. I am the lag, I am the echo. And I can only watch as he, the reflection, my reflection, walks away from the mirror and begins to live my life. I'm trapped here, behind the glass, perpetually a moment behind, a prisoner in my own reflection. I see him pick up my keys. I see him walk to the door. And there's nothing I can do but watch and wait for his next move. So next time you look in the mirror, watch closely. Check for the delay. And be very, very careful about trying to touch the person on the other side. You might just give them the opening they've been waiting for. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to lock your bathroom door tonight.